I feel like an idiot right now. My tiny Japan haul. Good morning. Sorry for the really creepy angle. I don't have anything else that is lit properly at 6:30 in the morning. It's a few days before daylight savings time, so 6:30 in the morning looks like this. I'm not mad about it because it is a little spooky. Autumn in LA is really hard to find, so I will take this spooky darkness for a little bit. I'm still in my pajamas because it's too dark to move on to like daytime stuff, so I'm wide awake. This is decaf coffee. I'm going to do a little bit of drawing, but bear with me on this creepy lighting. Welcome to another vlog. It's 7 o'clock and I finished transferring this undersketch. This is the undersketch. I had a few notes, like I wrote here, move Alice over, because I had drawn her too close to Henry on the floor. So I just shifted it over and traced it under. And this is what it looks like. Pretty bad right after a transfer. So what I'll do right now is finish up the drawings without the light box. And now it's time for real coffee. Because I'll be working all day at the drawing desk, I'm gonna make a larger quantity of coffee, which means I'm gonna be using the Virtuo Nespresso pod, which is of course the pumpkin spice cake. So if you've watched my vlogs before, you know that I drink the pumpkin Nespresso pods. Virtuo is a slightly more expensive pod, but it does give you more coffee, so I usually drink these when I know I'm going to be powering through for a whole day of drawing. The smaller Nespresso machine I had purchased, but the Virtuo one, this bigger one, this one was a gift. So now we have two Nespresso machines. I'm not mad about it. It just means we can make all kinds of pods with them. So for today's pumpkin coffee, I'm going to make this one and steam it with this pumpkin oat milk from Trader Joe's. So this plus this is the most pumpkin-y, pumpkin-esque thing you could make at home in comparison to like actually going to a Starbucks and getting a pumpkin spice latte. This is the next best thing. Wow, it's literally autumn in a cup. Unless you're part of my Patreon, you wouldn't know that I actually just came back from Japan a few weeks ago. It was an awesome trip, dream come true, literally dream come true. I've been wanting to go to Japan since I was 12. I got to do all the things that one does in Tokyo and Kyoto. It was a really special trip. I wrote more about it and shared photos of the trip on my Patreon, so you can always find the post there, but the reason I'm bringing it up here is to show you just a few things that I did manage to buy at Japanese stores. I was hoping to get more stuff, but there honestly wasn't enough time to really browse through stores. It's just these things. These are manga tones. I've been wanting to get my hands on these since I was little. It's really cool to actually get to see them and to pick out which ones to grab. I don't want to grab too many because I don't really ink that much, so these tones would mostly just be for fun. But it was really cool to go into the store and know that other manga artists stood where I stood to pick out tones for their comics. It was really special to just be there. So I grabbed a few clouds, a few gradients, mostly for pretty sketches, nothing crazy. From that same store, I purchased a Uni Jetstream pen. It's the same one as the pen that Hobonichi gives you when you place an order directly from their online store, but I wanted it in pink, so it's a really cute pastel pink pen. The other thing that I got from the same store was this comic eraser. Now I don't know what makes it specifically good for comics other than the fact that it has 3 edges, and it wasn't expensive. I think it was just $1, so I went for it. Why not? I haven't opened it yet because I wanted to show you first what it looked like in the packaging, so I'm glad I finally get to tell you about it so that I can actually use it. And lastly, I got this A6 planner cover from Hobonichi. I didn't want to buy Hobonichi stuff online this year because it's just so expensive with the shipping, so I figured, well, I'm already going to Japan, might as well save what I wanted to get while I'm there. It doesn't look like it, but it's actually a planner cover. See, it has this. I already have a planner in it. This is for next year. The reason why I got it is because it's a special collab with One Piece, so it has manga panels all over it, and I really like that, especially since I gotta get as much inspiration as I can to keep going with my project. With the cover, I also got the pencil board. This is what it looks like outside of its packaging. It's really cool. So I'll be using this both as a pencil board and a bookmark. And that's it, my tiny Japan haul. Now that I've shown you those things, I can finally try out this eraser. It just looks like a rectangular eraser. I bet you any Japanese artist watching this is like, it's just a shitty eraser that we use in Japan. But here, it's novel. Wow. I'm hardly putting any pressure on it. And look how much it erases. Wow. Kinda wish I had bought 2 of these. It's totally like a high polymer eraser, so kinda like this one. This eraser is my favorite eraser. It erases like butter, but so does this one. So I think I found my second favorite eraser. I wonder if it's available online. Whoa! I found it on one website and it's $8. In Japan, this was $1 or $2. Wow. On Amazon, it's $10. I really should have bought several of these. I just didn't know how good they were. I feel like an idiot right now. How am I gonna use this when I only have one of them? You can even feel, this feels even more high polymer than this. It is what it is. If any of you are going to Japan, please message me. Anyways, enough of this eraser business. We gotta get to work. One more thing I'd like to mention is that I'm trying to work in silence more often so that I can reduce distractions. That means limiting how many videos I watch while I'm working and putting some background music or even just background noise to kind of help with the utter silence that sometimes I deal with while drawing. It's been going really well. I do actually become more productive. I'm not constantly looking up onto the screen while a video is playing. One of the background videos that I've been watching has been very cozy with autumn. It's the jack-o'-lantern cozy autumn village ambience. This is it for like hours. There are a ton of other videos that are autumny as well, so this has been really nice in my dark corner. I've been enjoying this while working on that. Speaking of erasers, I use this Pentel Click eraser to get into details. It does erase really well. My only issue is that I've had this for so many years that the clip itself broke. So if I want to go up or down, it's very, very hard. It's kind of stuck. I have to really get in there to get more eraser out. So I just ordered another one, a pack of 2 with this high polymer eraser colors. Not sure what that is, but as you can see, I'm always on the hunt for some new eraser that can do a good job. It's a lot of shavings that are difficult to remove. I'm not too crazy about this one. I guess it works fine. Well, there you go. My silly review. I think because of its size, I'm going to keep it as a portable art option. And back to work we go. My goal today is to finish drawing this page. It's 9:30 and the bird is making noise, so I'm gonna go wake him up and then we can come back to this. Morning. Hello. Hi. Good morning. I'm not that hungry. I'm procrastinating a little bit. Alright, we're trying a different background music. This one's fireside harp music. I'll link all those videos in the description below if you would like to listen to them yourself. I knew this was going to be an awkward panel, so here we are. The point of this panel is to show that Henry's foot is hooking under her leg so that he can trip her. I know this panel is not super important, so I shouldn't worry too much about it, but I should still try to make it as clear as possible. I bet you didn't understand this panel until I explained it to you. And that's because there are so many little parts and not a whole. We are looking down from Alice's perspective. So this is her boob, her belt, her thigh, and then her foot. So we're looking fully down. But it doesn't look like that. I'm struggling with the foreshortening. That doesn't even look like a boob. It's like all misshapen. This one is the clearest, and then everything around it just confuses the hell out of it. One could argue that I don't even need that panel, because if we remove it, he says, look down, she looks down, and then trip. I don't think this panel is necessary. It is very awkward, and it just makes me look bad as an artist when you have nicely drawn panels and then this awkwardness. So I can just extend this and just make this big panel him tripping her. Here's the start of the extension. I'm gonna work on the background now. This is nice. Drawing it definitely pulls you into this autumny foliage flow, because this does take place in the autumn And as you might know from the previous video, I did the cover for this chapter. And so these trees are actually in full autumn mode right now. Obviously hard to tell because the comic is in black and white, but that's why the cover was important to establish what month we were in. The saga continues of what the hell's driving up our street today. Especially in my older vlogs, a lot of random things would drive up. Hi kitty, you're finally up from your bed? I am all over the place. It's 11:30 in the morning. My attention span is shot. Finally hungry, so let's go make lunch. I definitely overcooked the egg. I like it runny. I'm still trying to figure out how to use this thing. One of my in-laws gave it to me knowing I'm obsessed with eggs. So, still trying to figure it out, but I mean, this is still gonna be good. It should be lunch, but I'm having breakfast. Yeah. It's really good. I'm back. That was a delicious lunch, breakfast, brunch, whatever you want to call it. I reheated the rest of my pumpkin coffee. Delicious. We got everything done in terms of eating or drinking. I feel cozy. I really want to make a big dent in this page. I want to make sure that the details on the trees don't overpower the figures. And I know there's a lot of white areas around Henry compared to Alice, but Henry's top is going to have a tone over it, so he's going to be slightly dark. So I wanted to leave the trees detail a little bit empty so he still stands out. I don't know if that's going to translate well once I do scan and edit this digitally, but that's my initial attempt. What's left is, I don't know what this is called. Margin? Yeah, I guess. There's a little margin here. I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up. There we go. See this little blue line? This line is to let you know that any text shouldn't go beyond this, because over here this is the actual final margin. So you want all important information to be inside this dashed border. See all the panels, how they end right on this dashed line? So this section is going to have some of the knights looking very disappointed, but it's going to extend beyond the margin. It's going to be panelless. Hence why I had to do it in a separate piece of paper because it didn't actually fit. I've left that to be the last thing to do. And then we will be done with this page for today. I'm very excited. I know I have to be working a lot faster than this. It's already 3 o'clock, you guys. I wanted to be done with this by like noon. My concern is that I'm being too picky about drawing perfectly accurate anatomy. I did not have to draw all these wrinkles on the clothing. It's not necessary. So now that I'm with these 3 guys, I don't want to spend 3 hours drawing this panel. Like, that's unacceptable in terms of comic page rate. So I was browsing through One Piece, which is one of my inspirations, and trying to see like how much detail does Oda and his team put in the clothing and the anatomy. So I found this panel where it's 3 guys, and not only are their heads bigger proportionally to their bodies, like it's cartoonish, but there's not a lot of wrinkles and stuff. There's these wrinkles, but these are easy to draw. It's more cylindrical shapes that are hard to draw wrinkles over. So that's where I struggle with. I was browsing through and reminding myself that not too much effort put into details like this. Like, his arms are pretty flat. Like, look at that. It's just a few wrinkles here and there, but it's a fairly flat illustration. I like that. I forget that I should strive for this. Anyways, this was browsing through some manga for inspiration and reminders that I don't have to draw things perfectly. It's exactly 3:22. I'm going to spend 1 hour on this. Let's see if I can manage to do that. Wow, I was 1 minute off. That does mean this page is finished, so I will be posting it on Patreon right now, including sharing the thumbnail and undersketches. All of that will be in one post on Patreon. So I think I'm gonna pause the vlog. The husband is on his way home from work, so yeah, I think we're going to rest. The next thing that you'll see will be our visit to Disneyland, because they've got the whole park decorated in autumny. Of course, that's not really artsy stuff, so you're welcome to skip that portion. But if you're into the autumny vibes, enjoy. Ready for the Q2. We got it. We're gonna go on Tiana's ride.
That's pretty cool to get to grow up.
You found the sound. That was great. Hope you enjoyed getting tiny.
He just flew over to your shoulder. It was awesome.
Wish I could do dishes.
And there he goes. Hello. It's the next free-ish day I have. It's 3 o'clock already. This morning I spent it running errands. I went to Target. Obviously I had to get a pumpkin spice latte from the Starbucks there. I'm in the process of making pumpkin bison lasagna. So I've been busy, but no art making just yet. Which is why I reheated the rest of the Starbucks drink. I used my stars to get a free drink, so I got a venti. So I've got plenty of coffee to use up. I wonder how much I can get done today, because tomorrow I do have day job. If you've seen my vlogs before, you recognize this notebook. It's where all of my thumbnails are located. I had also used it to draw thumbnails for artwork and any concept art, like the shields for every night, so I can reference back to it. But the seam broke, which is fine. It actually broke right in the last concept art page, so technically I can devote the rest of it to thumbnails. It is flimsy and I would like to keep it solely as comic thumbnails. I had bought this at a Barnes & Noble a few years ago, not knowing what I would do with it. It's a really beautiful notebook and it has kind of a cream colored paper. So I've decided to keep this for comic thumbnails and then the rest will be in here. So that means that I have a new tracker for chapter 3 of the pages. Every time I circle one, it means that it's been drawn, and then the red mark means it's been edited. I thought I needed more updating, but it looks like I've kept up with it. So yeah, I have 2 pages drawn, I just need to edit them, and this is what's left. So today we're going to start drawing 24. The other reason why I wanted to separate a story notebook with the thumbnail notebook is because I like to keep this under my desk, so if I need to go out and travel, I don't need to take this. I can take my other notebook for doodling and concept work. Alright, so here's the 24th page. Here's the undersketch that I drew a few days ago. So we need to transfer the blue stuff to the final paper. We're doing this one now. So in these 2 panels, there's going to be a lot of text, and Henry does say a few things. I actually added 2 more sentences, so he's supposed to say 3 whole sentences. I don't think there's enough space here for that word bubble, so I'm going to shift his undersketch a little bit more to the right. And then for these guys, I decided to flip the panels because here Alice drops her sword and says something like, well, teach me. They haven't used the word wrestling, but they're basically going to learn how to wrestle. So she says, okay, then teach me. And so there's supposed to be a beat here where he's considering it, and she's supposed to look determined. So I initially had him considering it and then her looking determined, but I I think it would make more sense to flip it where she drops the sword, looks determined, he considers it, and then he decides to go for it. That's my thinking, and with that said, then I need to draw this portion and then flippity flip. I might have gone overboard on the details of the background. I just love drawing trees. Maybe upon editing, I might erase some of the details just to keep it more blank, but who knows? It might be fine. We still have this whole page, but it's getting kind of late. I think I'm going to work on editing the last page that I drew. Well, it's 5 o'clock. I have to work tomorrow and the day after that at the day job, so it's time to start winding down. So I'm going to put in like an hour's worth of editing work and then a proper wind down. So thank you for coming along on this little autumn vlog. If you're not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe. Leave me a comment if you have any opinion on erasers, apparently. Reminder that I have a Patreon where you can read all of the comic pages that I complete. Amazingly, I'm gonna hit 10,000 subscribers soon on this channel, so I was thinking of making a little Q&A video to celebrate. If you'd like to submit a question regarding anything, I'll be making a post about it on my Patreon as well as on Instagram, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching and for your support. Your comments have been really nice. I've really appreciated reading them all, and I'm super looking forward to this Q&A. Definitely look out for that, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!